I'm gonna say this with as much kindness as I can, but you're not middle class. I'm not middle class. We are the 99%, and they are the 1%. We have thousands, maybe even millions. They have billions. They have put that financial buffer between us because they don't want us to be part of them. Sorry to burst that bubble, but you're in the shit with the rest of us thinking your shit don't stink. You'll be fine. You're in California. Yes, blue states will fare better for a while. The New Jersey governor came out yesterday and said, we're going to fight this and we're going to do everything we can. But even states like New York, New Jersey, California, Massachusetts that send in the most money to the federal government do receive money from the Department of Ed. When that money stops, those programs will stop. As much as they will try to shift around money in their own state, there will be less money, so there will be less to go around. So there are things that will suffer. Even if your kid's in the best school system in California, they're going to make cuts. And let's be honest, they cut art and special stuff first. I mean, last is sports, like art, music, special programs. But also, I can't imagine anybody is currently sitting at university going like, "Ooh, I want to get into teaching. This seems like a secure career path." And honestly, to teachers, you know your job's pretty much going to be eliminated in the next 4 years. Right now, 80% of schools in Colorado are closed because teachers are at the Capitol trying to fight all these budget cuts because they know they're going to lose their jobs in the near future. So you do have less funds no matter what. Even if you're in the best county in California, there will be cuts. The staff, they can go work at McDonald's for less hassle and more pay. McDonald's will hold out a whole lot longer than the Department of Ed. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Go read Project 2025. One of their major goals is getting rid of the Department of Ed. They want the dumbest possible kids, and they want the highest possible burden put on women because it's assumed we will stay home to care for our children. The man must go out and make the money. They have the same Aryan ideal as Hitler. Perfect kids. Your kid's on an IEP, and these are not my words. They are not the ideal. As a matter of fact, there was a governor the other day, I forget from where, Arkansas, Nebraska, something like that. He came out and said, like, those kids, the broken ones, are expensive. They're spending like $20,000 to $50,000 on them, mainly because their parents didn't love them, so they broke their own children and then sent them into the school system. I mean, he backtracked it later, but he said out loud what the thought process is. That thought process is going to spread quickly and loudly and be more public than it's ever been. You broke it. It's your problem, not ours. Again, read Project 2025. I cannot stress this strongly enough. They have very, very clear goals of who is going to get what going forward. There is money in the project, or there is money in the 2025 budget for education. Trump can't cut that. He can try to, but judges will get that put back in. He does need 60 votes in Congress, but with Chuck Schumer and the deceitful 10, he could probably get them. But he doesn't need to go through any of that hassle because all he has to do is put in a $0 line budget in 2026 for the Department of Ed, and it'll effectively do the same thing. If we hit a recession, states are going to do everything they can to stem the loss. They will also start to pull funds from schools because they're going to have to. I mean, maybe you're middle class enough that you can send your kids to private academies so their IEPs are protected. Private academies aren't held to the same rules. And, with the rolling back of DEI and everything else, nothing guarantees they'll keep them up. We're rolling back protections everywhere else in the country. To think that education wouldn't do the same because it would just be to their, benefit, less resources, less money spent, less hassle. And they've already started to language it, like, enriching at home. It's a you problem. Handle it in your own living room. But also, overall, I'm middle class. My kid will be fine. That's MAGA shit. I voted for Trump because I was sure it was going to go over everybody else but me. I'll be fine. So if there's a lower class kid in your school, with your students, with your kids, but you have a little bit more money in your bank account than they do, your kids should be fine and their kids should be screwed. Well, what if there's somebody richer than you in school? Their kids should get the resources and your kids should get screwed. We are all floating in the shit stew together. You just think your shit doesn't stink. You are not one of the billionaires, and you are not one of the architects of Project 2025. You're going to get as screwed as everybody else. But that so many won't. That's MAGA shit. That's the people who sat quietly in Germany going like, well, at least I won't end up in a camp. I guess I'll just keep bobbing along. Please don't teach your kid that lesson. We need more community, not less. Oh, and did I fail to mention, if those IEPs come with any kind of medication or therapy, you should really read the Project 2025 section on medication and mental health. They want to cut those too. As a matter of fact, they'd like to round up several groups of those medicated ones and help them. You won't be fine. We won't be fine. Their stated goal is to equally screw all of us, because they are not part of us.